And welcome on in here to the John Breslow Ice Center as we are getting set for some Saturday evening action between the Nebraska Women's Hockey Club and 402's Finest Adult Hockey Club, as it is Military Appreciation Night here in Lincoln for the Women's Hockey Club team. They're rocking some sweet gray jerseys tonight, and they're going to be playing against 402's Finest Adult Hockey Club, which is a team made up of different first responders and military personnel from across Lincoln coming together to play in a nice charity event this afternoon and get a matchup going tonight. I'm Ethan McIntyre alongside Colin Dalvin here, and we've got a great matchup on our hands tonight. What are you seeing out there, Colin?
Well, Mac, I don't exactly know what to look for from the 402s, but the Nebraska Club women's hockey team has not had the best of years. So I think this is a perfect time with Air Force canceling in tonight for each of these clubs, especially the Nebraska Women's Hockey Club, to have a fun night and to just take some of the stress off, take some of the load off. Not completely tune out, but it's more of a fun charity event. I'm interested to see what we have here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have some interviews as well along throughout the broadcast. So going to be a very interesting night here in the John Breslow Ice Center as we are just finishing up with warm-ups, and we're going to just about be ready to play some hockey here for between the Huskers and 402's Finest Adult Hockey Club. We're going to go ahead and send it to a quick break as we get ready for national anthems and starting lineups. We'll have those starting lineups when we come back. You're watching Husker Hockey on the Women's Hockey YouTube channel. And welcome back on into the John Breslow Ice Center as we are going to go ahead and get through our starting lineups here as we are just about set for puck drop. For 402's finest adult hockey club, we got Ben Gwynn, Cam Hruza, and Chris Eyrich as our forwards. The defensemen are going to be Dan Linzer and Corey Kropp, and in goal is going to be Cam Walther of the Nebraska Air National Guard. On the other side, for the women's hockey club here from Nebraska, Shelby Stevens, Corinne McCord, and Sarah Kraus are going to be the front line. In the defense is going to be Meredith Fontana and Antonia Stevens, and then in net for the Huskers tonight is going to be Bailey Arnold. As we are just about ready for puck drop here, I meet the MacToon alongside Colin Dalvin. Any final thoughts before we get set, Colin?
I'm just incredibly excited to watch a fun hockey game between a couple of fun sides, Mac. Let's get this one underway.
And here we go as we are just about set for the face-off, and the Huskers win it away, and they will be getting underway here as driving in is going to be Corinne McCord for the Huskers. She looks to center it, can't quite find another Husker stick, and eventually it's cleared out to the defenseman Meredith Fontana. Fontana kicks it through, and now we have a tie-up on the far side. Eventually Shelby Stevens got loose, but it's going to be picked up by number 64 Ben Gwynn, and turned around to Kropp now for 402's finest adult hockey club as they're going to look to get their first offensive possession going here. Kropp looking for Gwynn. That one's now dropped back in front and eventually goes all the way into the offensive zone for the 402's. Fruza applying a nice forecheck, and it stays deep inside the offensive zone. Now tap back out past the blue line into the neutral zone where Kropp will repossess it for the 402's. Corey Kropp handling through the neutral zone and towards the curling circles here in the John Breslow Ice Arena. Eventually that one's given away, and it's going to be Adeline Russing with a head of steam. She'll drop it back. A great opportunity in front for number 25 Meredith Rado. She couldn't get it to go, and eventually it's going to now be scooped up by Alexa Tannehill for the women's hockey club. Now going the other way is going to be Noah Franzen for the 402's. This one's lost and picked up by Rusing. Rusing with a head of steam again, one-on-one against Kropp. Rusing going to look for options with her teammate. She'll now wrap around the net and lose the puck there. Depossessed by Kropp, and it will come all the way through and picked up eventually by Franzen. And now crossing, that was actually Caden Ware crossing it over to Franzen, who has it now, and Franzen will dump it in deep as Lopez and Ware will chase after it for the 402's, but it will be called an icing here, I believe, so we'll go all the way back down to the other end.
Mac, we just watched a D3 game between the men's hockey team and the Arkansas Razorbacks. I gotta say, this one's had not exactly the same pace and, for lack of a better term, pizzazz as the last one, but however, a good couple of chances beginning for Addie Rusing in front, the forward out of St. Louis, Missouri. She does have 6 points this season so far, so no surprise she's getting in front and getting a couple chances.
Yeah, Rusing's done a good job for this women's team, getting opportunities, and she's been probably the most physical player for this club team so far this season. As now it is swung around and picked up by Lopez, who will drop it in deep, and eventually Meredith Fontana has it now with Navy on her back. She'll give it away. Lopez tries to keep it in, but that one goes all the way through, and it will be Cam Walther of the 402's going to pick it up. Now it's picked up by Antonia Stevens. She'll dump it in deep, and here come the 402's trying to get something going, but a great forecheck from the women's team, and it's crossed in deep by Fontana. Now that one's centered and eventually comes all the way loose to the other side, and Fontana will give chase for the Huskers.
It was a nice pass out front by Meredith Rattle, but there was no one there to poke it home, Mac.
Yeah, and then it went all the way down to the other end. It will be called an icing, and the Huskers will get a quick change in here as 402's will stay out there with Ware, Franzen, and Lopez as the forwards. And the Huskers looking to take advantage of the fresh legs and strike first here with 17 to go in this first period. Driving in is Shelby Stevens. She loses it, and it's eventually picked up by Ware. Caden Ware of Lincoln Fire going coast to coast now for the 402's. Caden Ware keeps it in. He'll shoot, and the save will be made by Bailey Arnold. First shot opportunity we've seen of the game so far, and now the women's team, will come away with it. It's Shelby Stevens with Air Force on her back. Shelby Stevens will take it in, and now she'll stop below the red line, look for opportunities. Eventually, Ware came away with it, and there goes Caden Ware once again of Lincoln Fire. Ware slowing down, getting pressured from behind, and now Caden Ware will keep possession all the way into the corner, where eventually he's going to get bodied into the wall, and it will get tipped around towards number 39, Chris Klusaw. Now it's out in front, tipped a couple of times, and it's going to end up in the back of the net. Caden Ware will score for the 402's, and they strike first in this one, getting it past Bailey Arnold.
That's what you like to see if you're the 402's. The effort in front eventually paid off from Ware. And Caden Ware, like you said, from Lincoln Fire, putting the 402's up 1-0 here just under 4 minutes in.
And now a new line will come onto the ice for the 402's, including Carl Kavinsky, who's got a really nice beard going, number 27 on the defense for the 402's, as well as player out here without a jersey number, so don't really know who that is. But we do have Corinne McCord now with it for the club hockey team. Kicked around a couple of times. Fontana shot it in. Nice save there from Walther. Now Fontana will get it back, trying to find Antonia Stevens. She can't quite get it. Puck's kicked out in front and eventually picked up by Ziegler. Now it will be dumped all the way in, and Antonio Stevens will chase after it, and it will be an icing and an offensive zone faceoff for the Huskers.
Boy, you mentioned the beard, Mac, but I didn't see it until now. That's Brandon Wooster of the Lincoln Police Department, number 27. Have a look at that one. That takes a lot of grooming, Mac.
Yep. And now we have an opportunity on the faceoff. It's going to be Corinne McCord in there, the Husker point leader, trying to win it over for her team. Eventually, it's picked up by Stevens. She dumped it in deep, and a couple of times kicked around. Now behind the net is Addie Roosing with the puck. She can't quite keep possession. Meredith Fontana trying to keep it in the offensive zone, and she loses it. Antonia Stevens will pick it up and dump it off the boards to Meredith Fontana. Fontana will give it up back to Stevens. Antonia Stevens looking to start the offense here as she dumps it in deep, and it's going to be chased by Corinne McCord, and eventually Kavinsky comes away with it now for the 402's. Kicked ahead one more time, and Gallagher's got it. Gallagher working all the way in. He'll shoot, and that one goes wide, and eventually it will be picked up for the Huskers. And here they come the other way. A big head of steam now for number 7, McKenna Mueller of the Nebraska Cornhuskers women's club hockey team. She'll wrap all the way around, look for a centering pass. Couldn't quite connect there, and now working the other way is going to be 402's finest Cam Hruza applying the pressure. Eventually, the loose puck is scooped up by Radel. Now it will be swung all the way around to Mueller. Mueller looking for Radel. Radel couldn't quite keep it, and Hruza dumps it into Gwynn. Now Gwynn looking to set up the offense. He'll slow down and wrap around. He'll try to find Linzer in the middle. Now Kropp's got it for the 402's. Kropp will take a shot from the point. It bounces all the way around, and Gwynn will pick it up. Gwynn dumps it down low, looking for an option. Can't quite find him, and coming the other way is going to be the Huskers. Looking to set up the offense there was Camille McCord. She'll dump it all the way in deep, and now chasing is Meredith Radel. Radel chasing after it. She couldn't quite get it, and immediately going the other way is going to be the 402's. A great opportunity here for Dan Linzer. He works all the way in, eventually passes it back to Gwynn, and Gwynn takes a nice shot, couldn't quite get it to go. Irick can't keep possession, and now the breakaway going the other way for number 26, Sarah Kraus from Germany. She can't quite keep the puck, and eventually it will be spun all the way around the boards. Chasing now, though, is McCord. Corinne McCord going to kick it back up top to Antonia Stevens. Stevens now trying to get it all the way down, and eventually Stevens will get it back at the point. Stevens will fire from the point just wide, and it will be picked back up by McCord. McCord looking for options. She'll try to dump it down to the low slot. Couldn't quite make the connection with Shelby Stevens. And now Kropp will eventually pick it up for the 402's. Corey Kropp from the Lincoln Police Department working all the way in against a couple of women defenders for the Huskers, and just couldn't quite find the net there as he dumped it in deep, and eventually will be picked up for the Huskers. This one not kicked out of the zone just yet, though. Big shot, and the save is going to be made by Bailey Arnold. The shot came there from Dan Linzer of the Lincoln Police Department, the captain of this 402's team.
Bailey Arnold has settled in out of Minden, Nebraska. After that early one, Max, she's looked a lot better. But Corey Krupp from the 402's finest is working on that beard like Brandon Wooster, but long way to go for him.
Yeah, a couple of nice beards getting shown off out there on the ice tonight for Military Appreciation Night here between the women's club hockey team and 402's finest, a team made up of police and fire and other military personnel around Lincoln.
Just a nice event to have, Mac, especially with Air Force not coming in as late as I believe yesterday or a couple days ago. It's a really nice rescheduling for the Huskers, and this is a nice charity event to have for the community.
Yeah, it was Franzen shooting it in there, and the 402's are keeping possession deep in the Husker defensive zone. Eventually, though, it will be picked up by Isabel Palmer, and now Roosing working the other way. Addie Roosing trying to set something up here for the Huskers. She'll kick it all the way to the point. Keeping it in is going to be Shipperbottom. Roosing now dumps it back down as chasing after it's Isabel Palmer. And kicking it up for the 402's. It's now going to be Ware, who has the only goal of the game so far. Ware working in, he'll shoot, and the save is made right in the chest of Bailey Arnold, and she makes another save there. Another nice save from Bailey Arnold, as, like you said, starting to settle into this one.
Not the best save percentage on the season for Bailey Arnold, the Huskers number 39, but yeah, Mac, seems like she's settling down. 11:29 to go here in the first. A couple big saves to keep the Huskers in it. They haven't created too much down on the forecheck, but there's plenty of time left for them to get going.
Yeah, now the other 27 checks in here for the 402's. That's Brandon Wooster applying the pressure on Meredith Fontana. Now Gallagher comes away with it here for the 402's. Gallagher will try to dump it back in front. He can't quite keep it. Now Kavinsky's got it. Kavinsky goes to shoot from the point, gets all the way through, and eventually Bailey Arnold has to slap it away with her stick. This one comes across and eventually will be picked up for the Huskers. Mueller working after the puck now. Eventually that one's going to be picked up down there by Shelby Ziegler. Ziegler dumped it in deep. And it was Antonia Stevens trying to clear the puck in to the offensive zone and got a little too far underneath that one. He shot it straight into the bench of the 402's there. And good reaction time from the 402's to stay out of the way of that one.
Well, you could kind of feel it in the crowd. Everybody kind of just tensed up a little bit, threw their shoulders up like, whoa. And you could see Antonia Stevens looked a little taken aback herself, immediately apologizing to the 402's bench.
Luckily, no harm, no foul there for Stevens. And now the puck deep into the Husker zone. They're trying to get it out. And now coming the other way. They had it for a little bit. Now Shelby Ziegler will pick it back up for the 402's and dump it all the way back deep into the Husker defensive zone. They're trying to clear it through once again. It's Lexi Rager chasing after it. And now will be picked up and kicked back ahead for McCord. McCord can't quite keep possession of it. McKenna Mueller, though, will take it over for the Huskers. With Army on her back, McKenna Mueller will work across the blue line. Mueller takes a shot just past the blocker. McCord looking for the rebound, couldn't quite get there in time. Trying to keep it in the zone is going to be Sparrow Shipperbottom, but she can't get it done. Now Mueller loses an edge all the way through center ice. She's sitting on her bottom, and eventually coming the other way is going to be Wooster. Wooster for the 402's will work it all the way into the corner. Fontana will dump it in, and now it will be kept in at the point for the 402's. This one now kept alive by Cam Hruza. Eventually trying to clear it are the Huskers, and they will. Picking it up, going the other way is Meredith Radel with some speed. Radel working against the 402 defense. Now she'll slam on the brakes and work all the way back towards the blue line. Radel tried to dump it off in front for Stevens. She couldn't quite find her, and now going the other way with the head of steam is Irick. Irick looking for an offensive opportunity. He'll slam on the brakes. In the corner, going to pass it back to Hruza. Cam Hruza of the Lincoln Police Department looked for an opportunity. Couldn't quite find it. It goes all the way out to Dan Linzer, who will pass it across to Kropp. Corey Kropp of the Lincoln Police Department now working deep into Husker territory. In the corner, got a couple of Huskers on him. He'll send it around the end boards all the way to the other side where Gwynn will try to pick it up. Ben Gwynn of State Patrol couldn't quite keep it alive, and now the Huskers are going to try to get something going. They'll just dump it in deep for a line change here. Addie Roosting the only one staying out.
You know, Mac, I think I've figured out why the Huskers are so reluctant to attack so far. It's because they know they're playing law enforcement, and if they threaten to attack here.
Ben Gwynn way in deep on Bailey Arnold, but a nice save by Arnold, and then a great job by the Husker defenseman to keep it out.
And it was, sorry, Mac, if they attack, they're going to ruffle some feathers with law enforcement, which they don't want to do.
Yeah, they're definitely struggling a little bit to get some offense going, but here comes Corinne McCord looking for a great offensive opportunity. Off the rebound, she loses it, ends up in the chest of Cam Walder. No harm, no foul there, though, and we'll head the other way now for the 402's. That a hard shot up top, and Bailey Arnold stays in front of it once again. Arnold's really settled in between the pipes, making a couple of saves here for the Huskers.
In all seriousness, they've looked better on the forecheck, Mac, throughout this first period. I know we're at 7:38 remaining here in the first, but they started out a little slow, but the Huskers have grown into this one. And speaking of beards, we have a debut up here in the booth. Our producer, Danny Berg, is sporting a stubble and potentially one to add to the list of glorious beards on this broadcast.
Yeah, you might have to ask Carl Kavinsky how to grow that thing out to get to that length. We'll see how that goes for Danny Berg. Anyways, back on the ice, Ware's taking a shot. It deflects off a couple of sticks, ends up in the netting. And Corey Kropp's going to go ahead and head to the bench, as well as a couple other 402's to change off and get some fresh legs on there. You know, after a long day's work at the police department, at the fire station, not a lot of people expect you to come out and play some hockey, but, you know, that's what they like to do here. And this 402's team is having a good time so far tonight. Noah Franzen now dumping it in deep. And eventually he'll get it back from Ware. Franzen at the point. He'll look for an opportunity in front with Lopez. Couldn't quite complete the connection. Now Antonio Stevens trying to keep it alive for the Huskers. It eventually kicks all the way through to Radel. Radel now kicks it back across. Looking for Stevens. Laying the hit there. And eventually it's going to be picked up by McKenna Mueller. Mueller now working it through the neutral zone. Trying to get an offensive opportunity going, but she loses the puck to Franzen. Franzen then loses it back to Mueller. Mueller keeping the pressure on, looking for another Husker. Eventually, coming away with it was going to be Camille McCord, but she couldn't quite get the shot through, and Ware will pick it up on the other blue line now for the 402's as they try to attack. Ware with a nice move alongside the far side wall, but eventually he will be depossessed by the Huskers. That pass just behind Meredith Fontana, and eventually Ware will pick it back up. Caden Ware of Lincoln Fire working in for the 402's. He loses it, and it's kicked ahead, and eventually Franzen will now chase it down with Sarah Kraus behind him. Franzen will dump it back to Ware. Ware now at the red line trying to find an offensive opportunity. He finds Klusa. Klusa now looks to dump it back towards the center, but it's blocked off by a couple of women Huskers. And eventually it goes through back into the neutral zone, and Wooster will dump it in deep. And chasing after it is going to be Sparrow Shipperbottom of the Huskers. Shipperbottom dumps it in now, and it will be picked up here by Stevens. Stevens looking to get the offense going. Shelby Stevens working all the way in for the Huskers. She'll now slam on the brakes and look for Kraus. Can't quite find her. That one's loose. Here comes Caden Ware on the breakaway. The Lincoln Fire, Caden Ware, he's going to go ahead and put a move down and get his second goal of the night as Caden Ware makes it 2-0 402's with a little over 5 minutes to go left in this first period.
That was a nice move, Mac. Once there was nothing in between Ware and the goaltender Arnold, there wasn't anything that was going to stop him. A nice drift left and then a deke back right, and a beautiful finish into an open net.
Yeah, Caden Ware has looked really nice out there so far with his skates. And now another opportunity immediately for the 402s. It was Gallagher trying to dump it in to find another 402, but he couldn't quite make the connection. And now it will be the Huskers working the other way. Looking for Addie Rusing, and she can't quite come up with it. And the 402s will work it behind the net, trying to set up the offense here. That one's dumped all the way across and eventually picked up by Meredith Fontana. Fontana will dump it back in. And now it will be Kavinsky, the other 27 for this 402 team, that picks it up. Trying to get the offense going is McCord. McCord working in. She'll shoot a wrist shot. It's going to be gloved by Cam Walder, and that will lead to a whistle and a face-off in the offensive zone for the Huskers.
That's Corinne McCord's trademark, Mac. 11 goals, 2 assists, 13 points in 12 games for the Huskers this year. Top point getter, top goal scorer for the Huskers. It's what she does. Her trademark is in the slot in front of the goaltender one-on-one. Unfortunately, that time she could not finish.
And now working the other way is going to be Gwynn. He looked ahead to find another 402. They couldn't quite find it, losing an edge into the boards now, and the Huskers will take it up the other way. It will be McKenna Mueller now for the Huskers. She works across the blue line and slams on the brakes. She's at the point looking for an option. That one goes off the ankles of a 402 defender. Now this one picked up in the low slot, trying to find an opportunity here, and eventually it will bounce loose to Carl Kavinsky. Kavinsky looking to set up the offense. Goes all the way through, and Gwynn's got a breakaway. Mueller trying to work back. Gwynn all the way in. Gwynn works around the goalie, Bailey Arnold, and it will be Ben Gwynn of Nebraska State Patrol getting on the board and making it 3-0 402s.
Ben Gwynn with speed there. This 402 team looking like the Edmonton Oilers on the power play.
Yeah, great work there for Gwynn. A nice pass by Kavinsky to open that one up across ice, and then Gwynn working in one-on-one. Similar move to what we saw from Caden Ware, putting the deke on and getting back to the right and dumping it into the open net behind Bailey Arnold. And immediately going the other way is Cam Ruza. Ruza works it in, and a glove save made by Bailey Arnold. Cam Ruza of the Lincoln Police Department came right off the face-off and had a good look there. Now Cruiser will be back in the center position here on this face-off for the 402s. Coming onto the ice now for the Huskers, going to be Meredith Fontana for the 5th player for the Huskers. Linzer will take a shot from the blue line. That one's blockered away by Arnold. Now Cruiser trying to get it up from the corner. He'll kick it through. Pressure being applied by the Huskers. Eventually, that pass goes through and is picked up by Shelby Stevens. Shelby Stevens kicks it ahead. One more 2-on-2 opportunity for the Huskers with pace. Working the other way is Antonia Stevens. She looks to find the centering pass, and that one is knocked loose for the 402s. Eventually, it's tied up here in the corner by the blue line, and Meredith Fontana will come away with it for the Huskers, and they'll try to reset the offense. Kraus couldn't quite keep possession and ends up loose. Now Stevens trying to go the other way. She can't keep it, and Meredith Fontana will reset the offense once again. Stevens has it now as she works past her own blue line, working backwards. Passes to her sister Shelby. Now Antonia trying to pick up the puck. This one's up along the near side with Linzer and a couple of Huskers on him. Linsner is going to come with it and work it all the way to the far side, where Gwynn will look to work back to Hruza. Cam Hruza, nice move there to keep the puck loose, but it's depossessed for a second, now picked up again by Linsner. Dan Linsner working for an opportunity. He dumps that one right in front. A great opportunity in front for the 402s and Gwynn to get his second goal of the night, but he can't quite get it past the goaltender and Arnold. Now a backhand shot from Hruza and a nice save there from Bailey Arnold. Trying to get the puck out of the defensive zone is the Huskers so they can get a quick change, and they will. Everybody will come off the ice except for one. Meredith Radel will stay on. Now that one lost in front. Rusing trying to keep it going. Hruza keeps it in though. Now Rusing's got it, and Radel will head to the bench to complete the change for the Huskers. Addie Rusing trying to split the two defenders. They closed the door on that real fast though. Now the Huskers trying to reset the offense. McCord had to wait for one Husker to get back onside. Now McCord will work into the offensive zone. McCord all the way across to the far side point. That one shot up by the Huskers a little too high, and it will be retrieved now by McCord. McCord dumping it all the way down to Addie Roosing behind the net. Roosing trying to center it. Can't quite get the pass completed, as going the other way is going to be Corey Kropp. Corey Kropp dumps it in deep, and he'll chase after that puck, as it will eventually be picked up by Sparrow Shipperbottom, though, of the Huskers. Shipperbottom dumps it in around the blue line. Now it's the neutral zone, chased after by Isabel Palmer. And now it will be Caden Ware picking it up. The two-time goal scorer tonight, Caden Ware working into the offensive zone. He'll work it all the way in and off the backhand top corner. And Caden Ware has a first period hat trick for the 402's. Really nice move there from Caden Ware, and gets it up into the top corner over the glove of Bailey Arnold and makes it 4-0 402's.
Each goal has had something different for Ware, and that one was really nice because it looked like he was going to take the wrister from in the slot. He moves it onto his backhand and then goes top right corner. There's no chance for Bailey Arnold. And a hat trick in the first period for Ware.
Yeah, Caden Ware, one of the only three players on this roster representing the Lincoln Fire Department, and he's representing well so far, as he's got 3 of the 4 goals for 402's finest, and he's got the puck once again now for the 402's. Antonia Stevens will come up and apply pressure to Ware and take it away from him this time, though. Now Antonia Stevens gets the puck right back as she works into the offensive zone with 7 seconds to go in the period. She'll wrist one on net. Walder will glove it and set it down, as now McKenna Mueller gets it back, tries to score as time expires, but the door is shut by Cam Walder, and we have a 4-0 game after the first period. Colin, what did you see out there in that first period?
I saw a lot of Caden Ware, Mac. 402 finest number 2 with a hat trick, as well as a nice goal from Ben Nguyen from the Nebraska State Patrol. I don't think the teams are actually going to go into the locker rooms for this charity game, but a nice break for them. Yeah, just a couple minutes on the clock. So I'm being told, no, I'm not being told. Sorry, continuing. The Huskers need to do a better job on the forecheck, Mac. They need to get on the forecheck more, if anything. So that would be my key for the second period.
And we're going to go to a quick break here on the Women's Hockey YouTube channel. We're going to have a quick interview actually coming up here with somebody from Team RWB who's running this charity event. It's going to be Rob Corday here in the booth with me. All right, and I'm Ethan Mactoon here alongside Rob Corday, representing Team RWB in this charity event. You have any words you want to say on this event so far, Rob?
Well, number one, we're super grateful to be a part of the event today and to be invited to be here and watch this amazing sporting event. And the competition has been great so far. So yeah, Team Red, White, and Blue, we're a nationwide nonprofit veteran support organization focused on veteran wellness. And we promote that wellness through physical fitness activities, sporting events, and things of that nature.
Yeah, and you want to just go over kind of how this event unfolded and what your guys' involvement is in it?
Well, we kind of part of a networking thing. For one thing, we have a relationship with the ROTC cadets here. And one of the ROTC's instructors was speaking with one of the hockey players who happens to be a cadet. And she was saying, we're going to have our military appreciation event, and we'd like to maybe get some fresh representation from a new nonprofit. And he said, I know about Team Red, White, and Blue because I had worked with him in the past. And we got invited to have a conversation, and they said, yeah, this seems like a really good fit.
Yeah, and looks like we're just about ready to get started here for this second period. Anything else you want to say here about Team RWB?
Well, we welcome veterans, currently serving military members, family members, and any advocate. So look us up at teamrwb.org, and if you share a heart for veteran wellness, join up.
All right, perfect. And that's going to be all we have here for that quick interview with Rob. Pleasure meeting you, Rob.
Thank you so much.
Hope you have a great day.
Take care.
Have a nice one. We're going to get Colin back on the call here as we are just about set, and we're underway here in the second period.
Take care, Rob. Thank you.
And now it will be picked up by Cox on the near side for the 402's, and Ware working in. Caden Ware, what will we see here? He goes backhand, 5-hole, and I believe it was blocked by Bailey Arnold and covered up. Maybe not.
No, I think that was his 4th goal.
He
the
did
scoreboard
score.
says 5. But
So he did go 5-hole there and got it past Bailey Arnold, bounced right off the net and back out. So hard to tell if he scored there, but Caden Ware now up to 4 goals.
yeah, it was hard to see up here from the booth, Mac. I agree, but another one for Caden Ware, and he's showing off the stick skills inside the crease for the 402's.
And now it'll be worked around for the 402's. Back into the center of the ice. Antonia Stevens will pick it up, going the other way for the Huskers. Antonia Stevens trying to get the forecheck going, but they lose the puck, and Franzen will pick it up. Now deep in the corner, Franzen took a couple of bodies, but he'll keep it alive. That one dumped right in front. A great opportunity and a score. I believe that was Shelby Stevens who will get the goal there and get the Huskers on the board as they currently trail 5-1. A great shot there was actually not Stevens. It was Camille McCord who ended up in the slot there. Puck came bouncing right out in front, and she was able to turn and make a nice play, getting it past the glove of Mary Murrieta, the new goalie here for the second period for the 402's.
Well, it's not leading goal scorer Corinne McCord. Let's throw a 1 in front of that 8. It's Camille McCord. She's got now 5 points on the season in 11 games, and that was a nice take from the slot, Mac.
And immediately working the other way, it's going to be the Huskers again. Putting the pressure on them was Shipperbottom, but a nice save there from Mary Murrieta. As we mentioned, Murrieta is now in the game for the 402's here for the second period. She's representing the LCHD. She's an assistant captain of this 402 team.
Mac, we discussed during the break being better on the forecheck. That was some great pressure from the Huskers that led to their goal. I want to see them keep that pressure up, as here's another chance.
And now, like you said, another chance there, and it was Meredith Radel, the St. Louis native, with an opportunity there for the Huskers, but she couldn't quite find the back of the net. Another save from Murrieta, and we're seeing in the second period already, after the quick Caden Ware goal, this last minute or so has been dominated by the Husker forecheck.
And that's a lot more encouraging to see, Mac, after the first period.
And now going the other way, and taking a big spill is going to be Antonia Stevens. She's got a smile on her face, though, as she stands back up as she trails her sister into the zone. Shelby drops it back to Antonia. Antonia will shoot it wide, though, and it will eventually be picked up by Ziegler. Ziegler trying to keep it alive for the 402's. That one's sent all the way through, and Wooster will pick it up for the 402's now. Wooster dumps it past a couple of sticks, and chasing is now Wooster, and eventually it will be picked up by the Huskers, going all the way through and picked up for Addie Roosing. Addie Roosing couldn't quite keep it on her stick as it's cleared off the boards, and now Antonia Stevens has it for the Huskers. Working it around and finding Isabel Palmer. Isabel Palmer trying to get in on the forecheck. That one high of the net, almost dropped in. Now Palmer gets another opportunity, and Palmer chips it over the top. It looked like it went in. To me, we don't have a signal quite yet. I believe that should be a goal, as it looked like it was in, but they're heading over towards the face-off in front of to the right of the goaltender, Mary Murrieta, so it will not be a goal for the Huskers.
Well, even if it wasn't a goal, that was a fantastic save from Murrieta, the now in-net tender for the 402's. Still very encouraging for the Huskers. Let's see if they can keep it up as the second period continues on.
Yeah, great opportunity there for Isabel Palmer. Only one goal so far this season. Hasn't necessarily had the best time on the offensive end, but a nice opportunity there for Palmer. Now we are in to the other side. And it will be working the other way, Dan Linsner. Linsner weaving through a couple of defenders with a nice shot, and eventually that one will be saved in front by Bailey Arnold.
What a move, but an even better save from Bailey Arnold, Mac.
Now Linsner's got it back behind the Husker net. Linsner trying to set up the offense. He'll get it up to the point. That one shot in And eventually McCord had it for a second, but now Hruza picks it back up for the 402s. Hruza with the toe drag, trying to get it in the pad of Bailey Arnold. Stops it, and the glove covers it as we will have a face-off right to the left, or to the right of Bailey Arnold.
Bailey Arnold's been locking in over here over the last couple of minutes, a couple of nice saves, especially from that last chance from the 402s. She seems to be finding her groove.
And now that one dropped in and one way by the 402s and Hruza. Kropp will dump it back and get it back again now. Kropp working to the other point. It's Lindsner at the point for the 402s. Now he gives it back to Kropp. Kropp will dump it down low to Gwynn. Gwynn looking to set up the offense. He goes for a centering pass to Hruza. Can't quite connect. Lindsner picks it up, but he's depossessed by McKenna Mueller. Mueller now trying to work the other way as the 402s are chasing heavy. McKenna Mueller will now spin back around towards the center of the ice and put one on the stick of Meredith Radel. Radel just can't quite keep it in the zone, though, as it goes all the way back into the Husker defensive zone, with Antonia Stevens getting it over to her fellow defensive player, Meredith Fontana. Now it's going to be Radel working all the way in. Meredith Radel underneath the red line, working back through the corner, trying to find an opportunity for the Huskers. Now it's tied up against the boards. Eventually McCord will come in there and try to get it loose, but it will be picked up and worked the other way by Cam Hruza. Hruza looking ahead for Gwynn. Gwynn now picks it up for the 402s. Gwynn going to look back for Hruza. Gets it onto his skate. Nice save there by Bailey Arnold. She saved it again. And now it comes back through, and working the other way is going to be the Huskers. That one goes all the way through, and it will be an icing on the Huskers, Antonia Stevens.
Mac, if you didn't think Bailey Arnold was locked in before those last couple of saves, you know it now. That was a nice save off the skate of, I think it was a pass in by Nguyen. I'm not sure the skater who ended up kicking it towards Arnold, and then a nice save off the rebound as well, which led to the Husker icing. They need to get back on the forecheck because they've looked good in this period. It just hasn't come yet for them.
And now Mueller will dump it back to Antonia Stevens. Mueller gets it back in the defensive zone now, trying to get the puck through, but she is depossessed by Franzen. Franzen to Hruza. Hruza crosses it all the way through, and now picked up and going the other way are the Huskers. Trying to set something up here is McKenna Mueller. McKenna Mueller skating all the way in. That one goes off the left leg of Murrieta in net. Now this one coming back the other way. Here go the 402s. Irick just avoiding contact there, as it will be Cox now picking it up for the 402s. Braden Cox couldn't quite keep it as he's depossessed by McCord, and McCord will go off the glove and into the back of the net, and both McCord sisters have now ended up with a goal in this one. Corinne McCord, the team's leading goal scorer, strikes right there for the Huskers, and they have the last two goals. They've cut the lead down to 5-2.
Yeah, we're not shocked up here in the booth. Corinne McCord, 14th point on the year, 12th goal. It's what she does for this Husker hockey team. 5-2 with plenty of time left for the Huskers. And Mac, if you keep getting pucks on net, you really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's Braden Cox that was in there for the defenseman for the 402s that lost it, the Nebraska National Guard representative. And then, like we mentioned, Corinne McCord with a nice steal and works the other way, gets it past the glove of Murrieta, and gets the Huskers' second goal of the afternoon. Now this one's going to be picked up, and going the other way are the Huskers once again. They got a 2-on-2 opportunity. The pass is going to be made ahead to Shelby Stevens. Shelby Stevens slams on the brakes in the corner. She'll look for something. Goes off a stick. Eventually picked up and going the other way, as Franzen's going to have a breakaway here. It's Noah Franzen, coast to coast, and the save is made originally by Bailey Arnold, but the rebound is picked up by Noah Franzen, and he'll dump it into the back, representing Star Care, and Noah Franzen makes it 6-2 for the 402s.
That one's going to sting just a tad, Mac. A very nice initial save from Bailey Arnold off the one-on-one, but no defense women there to clean it up for the Huskers, and it leads to an open net goal to make it 6-2.
Yeah, tough break there for the Huskers. And now this one is going to be picked up for Addie Rusing. She'll dump it in looking for Radel. Radel dumps it on net, but the pad save is made by Marietta.
Nice response for the Huskers. Continue as you mean to go on. They need to continue this pressure to have a chance in this game. And in the second period.
And this one is going to be won by the 402's on that face-off. Eventually now fighting for the puck. Going to be a couple of Huskers and Klusaw. It's one away by the Huskers, though. Huskers shoot in. Another one, and that one is tipped down and in, and Isabel Palmer does get her goal. Had a good opportunity at the net that didn't count earlier. This time she finds the back of the net, and she'll score to make it 6-3 as Isabel Palmer gets the third Husker goal of the period.
Nice touch there from Isabel Palmer, the Huskers number 47, her second goal on the year. A nice shot off the rebound for the Huskers.
And now this face-off is won by the Huskers once again, and Stevens will dump it up ahead to Addie Rusing. Addie Rusing trying to set it up. She can't quite keep it on her stick, but Meredith Fontana keeps the attack on. She'll dump it down low, and Bring will pick it up for the 402's. Bring representing the Lincoln Police Department as he dumps it all the way through for what will eventually be an icing, and another offensive opportunity for the Huskers. It will be McCord, both McCord sisters on the ice now for the Huskers. Corinne in on the faceoff. McKenna Mueller now chasing after the puck, and Corinne McCord's got it. Corinne loses it though, and Bring will take it the other way for the 402's. Bring dumps it in, and eventually goes all the way through past Bailey Arnold, and picked up now by the Huskers as they try to work the offense. Bring keeps it in the zone though. He'll dump it in front. Good opportunity there by Wooster, just a little wide. Now that one bouncing right in front of the net. A great shot there from Gallagher and a nice save from Bailey Arnold. Now this one will wrap around and Bring will keep it in once again. But a nice job for the Huskers by Camille McCord to keep it alive. And now we'll get a quick whistle here. Going to be Bring headed to the penalty box. It looks like they're going to get them for interference here, and it will be the first power play of the night as the Huskers are going to look to capitalize.
I didn't think we'd see any penalties here tonight, Mac, but first time for everything, and especially not in a charity event. But
you know, the stripes are out there for a reason. They're making calls, and it was Camille McCord that was trying to get onto the offensive zone, and Bring was impeding her path, and they got him for an interference there. So opportunity here in what looks like it's a 5-on-4. The black jersey for the 402's made me think it was almost about to be a 6-on-3 look for the Huskers, as we saw that earlier this afternoon in the D3 game. But now it will be a power play as the 402's are on the kill, and that one was ripped out of the zone for the 402's.
Well, Mac, it would have been fun to see a little 6-on-4 action early on here. It is, like we said, just for fun, and I mean, you never know in these types of events.
Yeah, Camille McCord works it in now for the Huskers. Now into the corner, to the other corner, to her sister Corinne McCord. Now will be picked up by McKenna Mueller trying to set up the power play offense. McCord got it back, but that one is separated by Corey Kropp and dumped in deep once again, as just over a minute and change left on the penalty for Bring. This one going to be picked up by the Huskers as they try to get the offense going. Kropp will intercept that pass though. Corey Kropp working the offense the other way. 1 against 3 for Kropp. He'll work all the way in. Now behind the net looking for another player to pass to. He'll get it up to Irick. Irick will pass it across the point, but that one's going to be intercepted by Stevens. Shelby Stevens working coast to coast. Got a couple of 402's in front of her. She's going to shoot it anyway. Marietta makes the save. And that one's now picked up by Corinne McCord, who tries to dump it out in front. but it's going to be Hruza. Cam Hruza working the other way. Hruza gets it poked
nice
away,
poke.
though. A nice poke by Bailey Arnold. And Hruza will pick it back up here for the 402's. He loses it, but Linsner picks it up. Now Linsner with the wrist shot just goes high, and Kropp will try to pick it up for the 402's. It's loose against the board, and eventually Kropp does possess it for the 402's. He'll dump it in front for Hruza. Just couldn't quite go tape to tape there. And working the other way is Radel of the Huskers. Meredith Radel trying to get the offense going. She loses the puck a little bit, but gains it back. Radel shoots on net. That one, no good. The rebound opportunity, great chance, but saved by Murrieta. And now that one is back into the corner, and back onto the ice is going to be the 402's bring. And here comes Cam Hruza at full strength. Hruza on another breakaway and another poke for the Huskers. Back-to-back breakaways for Cam Hruza and back-to-back pokes for the Husker defense. As now it's picked up and shot across and out of the zone, as it will be picked up by Cox and worked across to Noah Franzen. Noah Franzen scored earlier in this period, and now he finds Gwynn. Gwynn has a goal as well in this one. That one now will be picked up by the Huskers as they try to restart the offense here. Looking deep and finding Rusing. Noah is broken up by Noah Franzen. Noah Franzen now working in for the 402's. He'll take a shot. Bailey Arnold goes high to save it. It's kicked out. Now Hruza trying to get possession of the puck. He can't quite find it. Cox trying to find it. It's kicked loose a couple of times, and eventually Gwynn will pick it up and dump it over to Franzen. Noah Franzen trying to set up the offense here. He finds Cox. Cox works it up, and that one tipped through the zone. Now off Klusaw. Eventually, it will be picked up by Radel. Meredith Radel going to work it all the way through to Addie Rusing. Addie Rusing now across the blue line into the offensive zone for the Huskers. Rusing looking to get the attack going. She'll take a wrist shot. It's blocked by her own teammate in front, and eventually we picked up by Cox and worked all the way through, where Hruza will chase after it once again. Cam Hruza is getting the absolute work in, and I believe we got a whistle. He might pick up an icing here.
Well, we finally have a break in play, Mac. Just want to go back to those couple of poke checks by Bailey Arnold. She's really settled in since the early barrage from the 402's. She might have conceded 6 goals, but a lot of them rebounds and other not straight-on shots is what I'm trying to say. But a nice performance so far from the goaltender from Minden, Nebraska.
And now this one is won on the face-off by the 402's. And Gwynn trying to work it in deep. Eventually it will be picked up and worked to Isabel Palmer. Palmer trying to keep it alive. Franzen gets it. That one looking for Gwynn off the boards. Couldn't quite find it. Braden Cox now drops it back to Noah Franzen. Franzen gets it. Intercepted by Meredith Fontana. She'll shoot, and Fontana just can't quite get it to go as the blocker save was made by Murrieta. Now Franzen working the other way. She'll dump back underneath to Braden Cox. Braden Cox working it up for Lopez. Lopez can't quite keep possession, and it will be worked all the way through and eventually picked up by Antonia Stevens. She can't make the pass, though. Klusaw tries to dump it for Lopez. Lopez depossessed by Meredith Fontana. Meredith Fontana trying to absolutely snaps the ankles of Lopez right there. What a move by Meredith Fontana. And now going the other way is going to be the Huskers.
Who said this game couldn't have any razzle-dazzle, Mac?
What a move by Meredith Fontana. Lopez went flying onto his right side as Fontana slammed on the brakes on him. And now this one's intercepted by McCord. McCord will shoot an amazing glove save there from the goalie, Mary Murrieta.
If Corinne McCord picks it up in the slot like that, you always expect her to score, but a very nice save by Mary Murrieta.
Yeah, that's definitely been the best opportunities for the Huskers so far tonight, has been Corinne McCord in the slot. She scored one and almost had another one right there. Corinne McCord trying to shoot it in, can't quite find it. And now it'll be Wooster picking it up. And it will be sent through. A great opportunity there for Wooster of the 402's. Now picking it up underneath is going to be Gallagher. He'll shoot it short side on the blocker, and he'll get a goal. It will be Joey Gallagher of the Lincoln Police Department getting the first goal for this third line tonight and making it a 7-3 402 lead.
Gallagher saw an opening, and he took it. A very nice shot. It looked like into the 5-hole there from Joey Gallagher of the Lincoln Police Department.
And now Gallagher on the face-off, wins it for the 402's, but a great job by the Huskers defensively to get it back ahead. Addie Rusing trying to get the offense going for the Huskers. Rusing works it in, she'll shoot. Nice save there made by Mary Murrieta. This one sent all the way across, and Brandon Wooster will pick it up as the Huskers trying to clear it back into the offensive zone. Fontana will work behind her own net with Joey Gallagher applying pressure. This one's picked up by Shelby Ziegler and dumped in front, but the Huskers are able to take it away. Now it's Dan Linsner for the 402's. Linsner looking to set up the offense. Gives it away to Kropp. Kropp dumps it in, and this is going to be blown for an icing. And an offensive zone face-off opportunity for the Huskers here. They've already got 3 goals this period. It seems they've had a little better opportunities here in the second period against Mary Murrieta, and they're going to look to get another one before intermission with 3:42 left to go in this second period. It will be Corinne McCord in the face-off circle for the Huskers. McCord working against Gallagher, and Gallagher wins it though for the 402's. He'll work it through to Wooster. Wooster tried to kick it up to Gallagher. Eventually it was picked up by Shipperbottom, who was depossessed by Gallagher, and it works all the way back into the Husker defensive zone. Now Joey Gallagher's got it. He just scored, and he'll look for another one as he shoots it on, loses an edge, and loses the puck as well. As working the other way with the 3-on-2 opportunity are the Huskers. Shooting it in is McCord. Murrieta trying to get a glove on it, and she just did in time before the stick of Corinne McCord came in, trying to make it 7-4.
Corinne McCord glided in, and Murrieta almost dropped it into her own net there. The number 67 of the 402's from LCHD.
As now it will be Corinne McCord in the face-off circle here for the Huskers. She wins it away. Mueller had a look, but a couple of sticks in the lane, and going the other way is going to be the 402's and Corey Kropp. Kropp will just dump it in deep, and he'll chase after it alongside Gwynn. That one's going to be dumped back, and Gwynn's going to pick it up, though. Now in the center of the ice was Ziegler with the opportunity. She couldn't get it off, and working the other way is going to be McCord. She'll just dump it in and go for a quick change. Mueller will chase after, though, for the Huskers. Picked up going the other way is going to be Hruza. He'll dump it ahead. He has Gwynn. Gwynn on a breakaway. The defense comes. Gwynn goes for the backhand, and that's high of the net. Great job by the defense getting back there and forcing the high shot from Gwynn. And now that one is intercepted by Gwynn. He'll look to start another offensive opportunity. He dumps it in front. Hruza had a look, couldn't quite get it. Now a shot up top. That one's going to be blocked for the Huskers. It was Lexi Rager with the block, got hit in the hand, and she went straight to the bench. Took her glove off immediately. That one shot in. Murrieta makes a save. Now this one dumped a couple of times by the 402's, and it will be Linsner with the puck. Linsner drops it back to Gwynn. Gwynn now circling towards the center. Gwynn will shoot, and Gwynn will score his second of the game. Ben Gwynn of the Nebraska State Patrol will make it 8-3 402's as he goes up high over the left shoulder of Bailey Arnold.
That one had some mustard on it, Mac. That was pacey flying past Arnold. No chance for her. 8-3 402's.
Yeah, the captain, Dan Linsner, making great decisions right there, working in on the 2-on-1. Took the defender with him and dropped it back to Gwynn, who was able to work in behind. And like you said, a really nice wrist shot with a good amount of pace behind it to go up top. It's 8-3 now, 402's, as that one's dumped in deep by Radel, and chasing after it is Shelby Stevens. Shelby Stevens trying to come away with it. And eventually It's going to be picked up by Caden Ware. McCord will head to the ground as Ware works in. Spinning is Caden Ware. Eventually he'll pick the puck back up and dump it up top to Braden Cox. Braden Cox across to Noah Franzen. Franzen now trying to work the 402's offense going. Caden Ware is looking for it. He'll come away with it now with McCord pressuring. Ware will try to dump to the center. It's broken up and eventually picked up by Fontana. Over to Sarah Kraus. Kraus tries to get it deep. That goes off the skate of Braden Cox. And coming in to change is going to be Shelby Stevens, and the Huskers. Now working the other way is going to be the 402's looking for Lopez in front. Irick trying to work on the puck. Shipperbottom comes away with it for the Huskers. She'll shoot it in. It's blocked. And Caden Ware will have it going the other way. Ware with already 4 goals tonight. He's working for the 402's through a couple defenders. Ware underneath and through the 5-hole once again. And it is 9-3 402's as Caden Ware gets his 5th goal of the afternoon.
Well, it's fitting that Caden Ware is from the Lincoln Fire Department. Usually he's putting out the fires. Today he's starting the fire inside the John Breslow Hockey Center. He's got 5 of the 402's 9 this evening.
Yeah, Caden Ware is having quite the night so far, and he's getting sent to the box for excessive scoring, I believe, which is a very legit penalty, and he probably deserves it. As now, I think he's just going to sit in there. He'll stay 5-on-5, but he'll get a game misconduct for scoring too many times, and I think that's very deserving as they lead 9-3. Now Isabel Palmer will shoot it in. Murrieta didn't quite see it. It went behind her. Eventually picked up by the Huskers. That one sent through and past the blue line, and it will be picked up by Rager. And the Huskers trying to work an offensive opportunity out of this is going to be Radel. The glove from Murrieta was not able to make the play. A whistle comes in, though, with 10 seconds to go. Not sure what the whistle was for. Now heading over to the to the Husker bench is going to be Lopez talking to the referees. Not quite sure why we got a short stoppage there. And now looks like we'll get ready for a face-off here with 10 seconds to go in the second period.
Yeah, immediately, Mac, I was thinking the only way a whistle could go here is penalty, but not to be.
And now going the other way is going to be Gallagher trying to work one last second opportunity. Can't quite get it. He's depossessed by Rager with 1 second left. And the horn will go as Palmer dumped it in. And just like that, we are through 2 periods here from the John Breslow Ice Center. It's 9-3. It's 9-3 402's. We're going to have a quick video here from Colin and Shelby earlier. Go ahead and watch that.
And I'm here with Shelby Stevens. Shelby, who are you guys playing for, and what are you guys about today?
All right, so I'm part of the UNL Women's Hockey Club, and tonight we're going to be playing 402's Finest, which is a veteran and first responders adult military hockey club. So we're going to play those for our military appreciation night to kind of thank them for their support and their service to this country.
Wonderful. Second question would be, how did this come about with Air Force dropping out so late?
Yep, so we were originally going to play the Air Force Academy, but they were not able to make it due to travel restrictions. So our head coach had a great idea to play the 402's Finest and still kind of keep that military theme going for our military appreciation night.
Sweet. Last couple of questions. What branch are you planning to go into?
Yeah, so this game really means a lot to me as I will be commissioning into the Air Force once I graduate. So it was a bummer that the Air Force Academy couldn't play and we could face off against them. But yeah, I plan to graduate, or once I graduate, go into the Air Force. So.
Sweet. What's the feeling in the locker room, and are you guys excited?
Yep, we're so excited to play this game and kind of give back to the community and show our support towards veterans and first responders.
Awesome, everybody. That's Shelby Stevens.
And welcome back on into the John Breslow Ice Center as we are getting ready for the third period. We are going to have a 15-minute period here in the third period as it is 9-3. It's going to be Cam Walther in the net for this third period for 402's Finest as they currently lead 9-3 and they're looking to put the finishing touches on what has been a very nice evening for the men and women of the Nebraska Police and Fire, as well as a couple other military personnel. Military Appreciation Night here, and off the face-off, the clock is going. Now we might restart it, I think. A little bit of miscommunication off the face-off. Shelby Stevens heads to the bench, as looks like they weren't quite ready for that face-off. We'll reset. We'll just leave the clock at 14:58 and let it go once again, as it will be Kavinsky dumped in deep. Charity event here for Military Appreciation Night at the John Breslow Ice Center for the Women's Hockey Club. And Gallagher working all the way in against several Husker defenders. Got the shot off, but a nice save there by Bailey Arnold.
It kind of came off of her stick and then onto her blocker and then up into her glove. I don't know how that one contorted all the way up there, but I'm sure Bailey Arnold will be grateful it went there and not in the back of the net.
Now a shot for 402 once again, but clogged up in the lane. And Fontana looking to get around the pressure of Irick. Going the other way are going to be the Huskers, trying to get an offensive opportunity here. Didn't score in the first period against Walder, trying to break that here in the third. Meredith Fontana will pick it up. She'll lose it, and Joey Gallagher of the Lincoln Police Department working the other way. Gallagher with nothing but Arnold in front of him, and it will be saved by Bailey Arnold with the outstretched glove. Nice play there by Arnold with the stick and the glove at the same time to depossess Joey Gallagher as he came in on the breakaway. Now dumping it in front was Stevens. She couldn't quite make it happen. Eventually the puck is going to be tied up around the board and picked back up for McCord. McCord in the center of the ice. She'll wrist one on, looking like her sister in the slot with a wrister, but couldn't quite get it by the glove of Cam Walder.
Moving back to the other end, Mac, a very nice effort from Bailey Arnold to actually get leather on the puck. That's all you want to do down there when you're outnumbered in a one-on-one opportunity. I know technically you're not outnumbered, but it does feel like the whole world is bearing down on you as that goaltender. It was a very nice play to get some leather on it and to deny the 402's their 10th of the night.
And Caden Ware is still sitting in the box for the 402's. Got his helmet off. Looks like he's going to be there a while for the rest of this period, potentially, for Caden Ware.
Well, not only does he have his helmet off, he's kicked back. You can get him a soda and some popcorn. He looks like he's just enjoying a movie over there in the box. Yeah, Mac, he's going to be there for a minute and change, to say the least.
Yeah, 5 goals in a charity event will get you a trip to the box, it looks like, as that was where they drew the line here on our Military Appreciation Night for the Women's Club Hockey Team, as it's going to be Fontana working it through.
Do you think it was a minute per goal?
At least. I mean, he's already put in 4. Might be 3 minutes per goal at this rate.
And for those of you just joining us, he does have 5 tonight, so at least 1 more, according to Ethan McIntoon and I.
And Hruza working all the way in, and he goes, fakes right, gets to the left, and he'll score one, and Cam Hruza will make it double digits for 402 as they lead 10-2 now, or 10-3, excuse me. Cam Hruza of the Lincoln Police Department getting his first of the night.
Boy, you could arrest him for that one, Mac. A very nice move right, then back left, and a fake, and then by Bailey Arnold for double digits for the 402's.
Now working the other way is Shelby Stevens trying to get the answer for the Huskers. Stevens will work all the way behind the net as she tried to center it, lost it, and ended up on her knees. Now will be picked up by Hruza. Hruza trying to get it down in front. Wooster will pick it up now. Wooster pokes it loose, and it gets by the blue line, but the ref's going to let it slide. And the Huskers are attempting to get an offensive possession going here. Stevens lost it originally. It's picked up. Now a pretty physical play there along the wall between Hruza and Radel. Eventually Hruza comes away with it for 402, and he's going to work. He's got a couple of numbers to his left. He'll work all the way across. And now in the corner is Hruza. Hruza loses the puck, and it's going to be picked back up by Radel, and the Huskers are going to attempt to get the offense going the other way. It's Sarah Kraus working against Kropp. Kropp will dump it all the way across to Linsner. Linsner looking for Hruza, and it's eventually picked back up by Sarah Kraus. Sarah Kraus trying to get the offense going for the Huskers. She'll shoot one in low on Cam Walder, and he'll make the save. Once again, he'll cover it up, and we'll have a face-off to the left of the goalie, Cam Waldner.
I don't dislike the attempt there from Sarah Kraus shooting for the rebound. It just didn't come off that time for the German.
Yeah, good opportunity there for Kraus, but just couldn't quite find the back of the net past Walder. And it will be another opportunity for the Huskers as they got the offensive zone face-off. They're working inside. It's Isabel Palmer. She gets it loose to McCord. McCord will shoot. That one can't go. Centering pass. Once again, McCord gets it back. McCord shoots again, and the save is made once again by Cam Walder of the Nebraska Air National Guard. And it will be a face-off to his left. Once again, good pressure there from the Husker forecheck.
You said it, Mac. Some great pressure, and these are the things I'm sure they want to take out, getting serious for a second into their actual games of the year. They want to focus on the positives, and these past couple of seconds on the forecheck have looked good. And of course, as soon as I say that, here come the 402's.
As you mentioned, here they come, and it's Irick with the puck for the 402's. Irick will wrap around and look for the centering pass to Gwynn. It goes through, and Kropp will pick it up. Kropp now looking to set up from the point. He'll get it down to Irick. Irick working against the corner of the rink here. Eventually, it's swung around, and Kropp has it back at the point. He'll flip it across the ice to Linsner. Linsner will pick it up for the 402's and get it down low. He'll take it all the way across. Linsner will shoot from the low slot. Good save there by Bailey Arnold, and Kropp now on the far side point. Dumps it all the way across to Linsner. Linsner looking to set up the offense. Goes for a pass, a one-timer. And that one, I believe, did he score that? He might have. I think he did. No, it looks like they're setting up for a face-off down here. He shot it to the far side, and the save was made by Bailey Arnold.
Another nice save from Bailey Arnold. I was with you there, Mac. I was wondering if it was goal or face-off, and it ended up being the latter.
And now that one against the back of Braden Cox and the boards, eventually won through by Gwynn. Gwynn looking to set up the offense here for the 402's. It comes across, and McKenna Mueller will pick it up. McKenna Mueller trying to set up the offense for the Huskers. Meredith Fontana has it now. Fontana loses it up deep, and it will be through to Braden Cox. Cox to Gwynn. He'll get it over and through go the Huskers. Working in is Antonia Stevens, using her body to try to create some space. A good centering pass. Eventually, it's picked back up by Stevens. She'll shoot it through. It's blocked up by Cox twice now. Braden Cox gets in the way of a Stevens shot attempt, and it will be sent back through from McCord. She'll try to shoot from the slot. Can't get it to go. Now working the other way is going to be the 402's. That one's checked away and eventually picked up by the Huskers. They have a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Stevens will get off the ice instead. And here comes Mueller all the way through. Mueller will try to dump back ahead, and Franzen gets a stick in the way. Now at the point, picked up by the Huskers. Once again, trying to set up the offense. High shot, gloved down by Walder. Walder sets it down on the ice, and eventually losing her footing, and a hand is raised, and we will have a penalty as McCord got tripped, and another penalty will coming up here on the 402's. Another power play opportunity for the Huskers here, down 10-3.
Mac, to have one penalty, I was thinking was out of the question. To have two, I'm sitting up here with you, and my mind has been absolutely blown. In a charity game, as I believe that's still... Who is that over there? Caden Ware in the box is joined for a trip by, again, I'm not sure who it was.
Noah Franzen in there.
There you go,
with
Noah
Caden
Franzen.
Ware.
They can both kick back, have a soda and some popcorn, and watch the event that's taking place in front of them. They do have a 10-3 lead, and 5 of those have come from Caden Ware, so not too much to worry about, but they are missing out on the fun.
In theory, Franzen will be able to come out of the box in 2 minutes. Caden Ware, on the other hand, I think he's been ejected from the game, more or less. You know, the 5th one was too many. You could have 4, but 5 in the first 2 periods. That's where they drew the line on him, and he's been sat in the box for the entirety of this 3rd period.
Well, being a firefighter, maybe he doesn't know the law as well as
the other police officers over there on the bench.
Yeah, he didn't read the rule book very well. And now the Huskers trying to set it up. Great opportunity there for Kraus. She just couldn't quite get good contact on it. And now Shipperbottom trying to keep it alive. Goes back through. Shipperbottom trying to set up the offense on the power play. It's McCord going in deep after that puck. That one's sent all the way around, and there's no one up at the point, so it will clear out, and Shipperbottom will have to chase after it for the Huskers. Sparrow Shipperbottom will pick it up for the Huskers. She'll look to set up the offense, gets it away to Rusing. Rusing can't quite keep possession as Bring picks it up for the 402's. Bring behind the net, meets McCord. He'll dump it across, and it will be picked up and eventually cleared through by Carl Kavinsky. Goes all the way through on the penalty kill, and Sarah Kraus will pick it up behind her net and try to set up one last push with 30 seconds to go on the power play. Rusing will pick it up. She's stopped by Coolsaw. Coolsaw is towering out there compared to some of these Husker players, as we don't have an exact height and weight on him, but he looks like he could be anywhere between 6'4", 6'5" area for the 402's. With 8 seconds left to go on the power play, a shot comes in. That one got behind Walder. They almost got through, but he somehow got it out of there. Walder's still sitting down as the puck is live in play. Franzen will come out of the box, lay a lazy poke check down, and he'll head to the bench, as it will be Lopez coming out for the 402's.
A lot of these 402s, I was thinking the exact same thing earlier, Mac. They just kind of tower over the Huskers. A lot of large human beings on the ice right now.
Now, when you put together a team of firefighters and police officers, you can tend to see some bigger humans out there, as Gallagher working the other way for the 402's. Nice athletic play there from the referee, as Kropp will get it at the point now for the 402's. Kropp getting pressured by Radel, and she'll dump it all the way through, but Lopez will be there to intercept it before it clears the zone. Lopez going to try to set up the offense. He goes across to Coolsaw. Coolsaw now going to take a shot. That one low and saved by Bailey Arnold. She shuts the door, and it is staying at 10-3. And, you know, Bailey Arnold has an 11.19 goal against average, so technically so far she's doing above average with 5 minutes left to go, as we have a running clock here on the changes in this third period.
Mac, we've said it all night long. Bailey Arnold, we're going to ignore the score for a second, has looked pretty solid when it's come to intangibles and moving from side to side for the tender out of Minden.
Yeah, and there's another shot on her from Lopez, and Arnold makes another nice save. And now working the other way is McCord. Linsner's absolutely putting it down to get in front of her, and Linsner does eventually get in front. And he'll dump it all the way through, looking for Lopez. Lopez gets tripped up, and offering some apologies was Sparrow Shipperbottom. Eventually the shot will be sent in by Ziegler. It's below the pads of Bailey Arnold, and she gets on top of it and covers it up for a quick stoppage as we go for a face-off. Clock is still running, though. As we tick towards 4 minutes to go in the final period here of this Military Appreciation Night charity match between the Husker Women Club hockey team and the 402's Finest Adult Hockey Club, as it's Kropp working across, and it will be picked up eventually by the Huskers trying to work up the offense here. Now they've got a one-on-one as McCord works in against Kropp, and Kropp swats it away. McCord chases back, centers for Palmer. Palmer couldn't quite get a good shot on it. Now working the other way is going to be Ziegler. She'll pass it ahead to Hruza. Hruza looking for an offensive opportunity. Eventually Palmer picks it back up for the Huskers, and Palmer's going to start to get going the other way. Kropp trying to get in the way. McCord gets it back now. McCord was looking to go to the bench for a change. Eventually the puck came to her. She sent it in deep. Now she'll go get a change, as that one gets sent all the way out of the Husker offensive zone, and they'll have to restart with Meredith Fontana passing it away. Now it will be Antonia Stevens just dumping it deep into the corner and leaving one Husker to chase after it in McCord. Camille McCord can't quite make a play on the puck there, as it's picked up for the 402's. Working the other way is Kropp. Kropp trying to set up something here as he dumps it deep for the 402's. Hruza giving chase as well as Stevens. Hruza keeps it now. Hruza looking to set up the offense. Cam Hruza wraps all the way around in the slot. That one's blocked away by Antonia Stevens. And eventually Gwynn picks it up. He'll dump all the way up to Braden Cox. Cox over to Kropp. Kropp going to try to set up the offense. That goes off the back of the half wall and behind the net. And now it will be reset into the corner by Antonia Stevens. Antonia Stevens trying to set up the offense for the Huskers as we tick down towards 2 minutes to go in this one. Stevens all the way in, a good opportunity, but couldn't quite keep possession of the puck all the way through. Eventually, it's picked up by the Huskers as it's Kraus going for the backhand, now chasing after his Radel, and just clearing it was Braden Cox. Now Gwynn tries to dump it through to Hruza. Hruza loses a player down there as Shipperbottom goes down, and we are going to have a penalty coming up here on Hruza. Potentially, or an offsides.
I think it was an offside, but as that running clock continues, Mac.
As it is now ticked below 1:30 as the faceoff comes here in a 10-3 game with just over a minute left. Not exactly been the night the women's club hockey team was hoping to have, but McCord looking to get on the board here, and she can't quite find it. Now another shot coming up. Can't get that one either. And on Military Appreciation Night, the military are making sure they're appreciated as they take an absolute beating to the women's club hockey team. It's 10-3 with a minute to go. And here comes Gwynn trying to work the other way. Irick trying to work it into the zone. He loses it. And now it will be Stevens trying to set something up. Get a goal here. Shelby Stevens shoots it in, and it's saved by Cam Walder. Walder, the goalie from the Nebraska Air National Guard. He has played the first and third periods of this one and has not given up a goal yet as the running clock ticks below 30 seconds. He's looking to keep his shutout with Addie Roosing in and a sub coming on for the Huskers. It's going to be Radel as the puck is finally dropped and Cox will clear it through. 20 seconds left. Not much offense left in this one, it seems. Shelby Stevens trying to work it through. Eventually, it's going to be picked up by Wooster. Wooster crosses all the way through the ice with 7 seconds left. Radel picking up one last chance here for the Huskers. Radel will shoot in the slot, and the save is going to be made by Cam Walder, and that will do it as we have finished 3 periods of play in this one. A 10-3 victory for 402's finest adult hockey team as they come out on Military Appreciation Night and put on a great show, led by Caden Ware with 5 goals in the first 2 periods before he sat in the penalty box for the whole entire third. A nice win there for the 402's finest adult hockey club. Colin, what's your thoughts from that one?
We were basically like Caden Ware for most of that game. We were kicking back and watching some great hockey, Mac. It was just a nice, relaxed event that had a couple of unexpected heated moments. I didn't really expect for a lot of physicality in this one, but it had everything from goals to great saves. Bailey Arnold had a fantastic game, even though she did let in double-digit goals. However, the 402's were just a bit too much. They had the Huskers beat in size and a lot of other ways, but a night that both teams can be proud of and a fun event in the end for both of these sides. Yeah,
a great night, a great event here at the John Breslow Hockey Center. It was a battle throughout, 10-3 final score. You know, the women's team was able to get 3 on the board in that second period, and they really put on a good show tonight in the charity event. We saw Caden Ware of Lincoln Fire put on a show of his own with his 5 goals, and it was a great night all around here in Lincoln, Nebraska, as that will be all we have today between the Huskers and 402's finest adult hockey team. I'm Ethan McToon alongside Colin Dalvin. We have Danny Berg as our producer and Luna Acosta on the camera, signing off here from Lincoln.